How many of us have been in situations where we are holding on to things, to places, to people, jobs, relationships that no longer serve us? You can think of anything in life as a job, a project, or a relationship. You put in your time, you put in your effort. You're giving your all and yet nothing is working out in your favor. So what do you do next? Do you double down? Do you try harder? Or do you walk away? What if the person you're in love with suddenly pulls away? Are you going to pull harder, chase after them, try to make sense of the situation? Or will you walk away and accept that maybe they weren't meant to be yours? Welcome back to Deep Vision. In today's video, I will explain why you should never chase someone who is pulling away. When someone starts distancing themselves from you, whether it's a friend, a partner, or anyone else, that's all the answer you need. Their actions are telling you where you stand. You don't need further explanation because someone who truly values you won't pull away from you. They'll make an effort to communicate and explain their side. Most guys become anxious when a girl pulls away. It's as if she has a magical power over their emotions. But listen up. The first reason you should never chase someone pulling away is because they've already made their decision. Don't waste your time trying to convince yourself that everything will work out because you may be fooling yourself. Instead of thinking, what do I do now? Ask yourself, what do I do next? There's a big difference between these two questions, because the first question is based on desperation and the second is based on strategy. You need to understand something very important. The same way you wouldn't keep pouring water into a cup that's already full is the same way you shouldn't keep pouring your energy into a relationship that's already given up on you. If the person you're trying to win over isn't making an effort to be there for you, it's time to move on. Let me tell you a story about two brothers named Daniel and David. Both were hardworking and dedicated, but one was reckless and irresponsible. Daniel didn't care about the consequences of his actions. The other brother, David, however, took responsibility for his actions and worked hard to make up for his mistakes. One day, both brothers fell into a deep hole. People gathered around and asked the reckless brother, "Hey, how do you expect to get out of this hole if you're too lazy to take care of yourself?" To that, the irresponsible brother replied, "I don't know. Maybe I'll just stay here forever." On the other hand, the responsible brother looked at the people gathered around him and said, "Thank you all for coming, but I don't need your help. I can get myself out of this hole." Then he started digging with his bare hands. And even though it took him a long time to get out, he did it without any help. My point is, when someone gives up on you, don't try to drag them out. Sometimes the best thing you can do is to let them go. A wise man once said, "A fool with a plan is no match for a wise man with no plan at all." Don't waste your time chasing someone who doesn't care about you. Instead, focus on yourself and make yourself a priority. That's the only way to ensure your happiness and success. The second reason you should never chase someone pulling away is that it lowers your self-respect. Listen, when you chase someone who's pulling away, you're essentially begging for their attention. You're showing them that you're willing to lower your standards and compromise your values just to win them over. And guess what? That kind of behavior is a major turnoff for most people. Why? Because it communicates a lack of self-respect and self-worth. You're sending the message that you don't value your own company and that you're desperate for attention. The person pulling away will notice this shift in your behavior and it will only push them further away. Think about it like this. Imagine you're at a party and you spot someone you find attractive across the room. You approach them and start a conversation. Everything is going well until you realize that they're not interested in you. Instead of taking the hint and moving on, you decide to chase them. You make a fool of yourself by doing things like buying them drinks, telling them overly personal information, and being overly affectionate. All you're doing is making yourself look desperate and embarrassing yourself in the process. This is what chasing someone who's pulling away does to you. It kills your self-respect and makes you look foolish in the process. The bottom line is, don't lower yourself for someone who doesn't appreciate you. If someone is pulling away from you, it's probably because they don't value you. And if that's the case, it's better to let them go than to chase after them. When you chase people, you lose your self-respect. When you stop chasing people, you gain your self-respect back. The third reason to not chasing someone who's pulling away is it makes you lose your individuality. Listen, when you're in a relationship, it's important to maintain your own individuality. This means having your own hobbies, interests, and friends outside of your partner. It also means being able to express yourself freely without fear of judgment or criticism. However, when you chase someone who's pulling away, you start to lose sight of who you are. You start to prioritize their needs and wants above your own, and you begin to feel like you need to change in order to win them over. This is not only unhealthy for you, but it's also a major turn-off for the other person. How many of us spend so much time worrying about what other people think of us that we forget to live our own lives? We become so focused on trying to please others that we lose sight of our own goals and dreams. We start to feel like we need to change who we are in order to fit in or to be loved. This is a dangerous place to be in because it leads to a loss of identity and self-respect. You need to remember that you are more than your relationship. You are a unique individual with your own thoughts, feelings, and experiences. Don't let someone else's behavior dictate who you are. Stay true to yourself and don't be afraid to express yourself. The next time someone tries to pull away from you, remember that you are more than your relationship. Don't change who you are just to please them. If they can't accept you for who you are, then they're not worth your time and attention. And finally, the last reason you should never chase someone who's pulling away is because it sends a mixed signal. You can't send mixed signals and expect clear results. When you chase someone who's pulling away, you're sending a mixed signal that confuses them. You're showing them that you're available and open to a relationship while they're showing that they're not interested. By continuing to pursue them, you're only making the situation more complicated. Think about it like this. Let's say you're playing a game of tug of war with your friends. You pull the rope towards your team and your friends pull it back. This continues until the rope is in the middle. At this point, you can either let the rope go and concede the game, or you can continue to pull on the rope and make the situation more chaotic. Chasing someone who's pulling away is like pulling on that rope. You're trying to force a relationship to work when it's clear that it's not meant to be. By letting go, you free yourself from the confusion and emotional turmoil that comes with mixed signals. It allows you to move on and find someone who is truly meant for you. Don't waste your time and energy chasing someone who's not interested. Stay confident and focus on finding someone who reciprocates your feelings. In conclusion, don't ever chase someone who's pulling away. If someone is distancing themselves from you, it's best to let them go rather than trying to force them to stay. Whether it's a friend, a partner, or anyone else, chasing after someone who's pulling away can be a futile and damaging exercise. Not only does it communicate a lack of self-respect, but it also runs the risk of losing your individuality. Sending mixed signals like this will only lead to confusion and emotional turmoil. So if someone is pulling away from you, let them go. It may be difficult, but it's ultimately the best thing for you in the long run. As always, if you want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Until next time.